Today we flipping up the format with a reaction video. Yeah, one of those. Let's go. So guys, I want to change it up a little bit today and do something just a little bit different. I haven't reacted to a lot of things. I've broken down gameplay, done stuff like that, but I haven't necessarily reacted to some of the stuff that I've seen out there on the tube. And today I want to do that. Let's see. We got a video right here already pulled up. I watched this one already. That was Afro's video. You can tell I watched it because the red bar underneath it. I'm going to click on this one right here. Why I'm not hyped for Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Doesn't have a very good like ratio, 73%. But I don't care. I want to hear what they have to say, and we are going to check it out and discuss this, because and my thought process behind all of this is that people say that they don't like the game for various reasons. I'm going to turn my mic all the way up so I can get the audio in there. People say they don't like the game for various reasons, but upon watching certain things, I come to find out that the reasons are not, like, there's no credibility to it, in my opinion. But let's see.
What is up, everybody? Tempo Rusty here today. Today's video topic is going to be on why I am not hyped for that Dragon Ball Z Kakarot game.
Now, mind you, this video was done in June 18th of 2019, so there wasn't a lot of information out about the game at the time. Well, for them, I you know, whatever, but let's hear what they got to say.
This game, it's like every other Dragon Ball Z game in history.
First off, the game, you're showing gameplay of the game and you're saying that it looks like every other Dragon Ball. What Dragon Ball Z game looks like that? Legacy of Goku has the same format, but it doesn't even look like that. Like, I know what he's saying by looks. He's probably saying how it plays and stuff. Let the man talk, DM.
That they have made so far. Now, you play through the story mode as Goku through the events of Dragon Ball Z. Every Dragon Ball Z game has the same story,
This is one of those guys. So, guys, listen, man. The last time a Dragon Ball Z game told the story of Z was, okay, it wasn't Xenoverse, and I'm backtracking. It wasn't Xenoverse 2, it wasn't Xenoverse 1, it wasn't Dragon Ball FighterZ, it wasn't Rage and Blast 1 or 2. They didn't follow the story. It was probably Burst Limit. Was probably the last game that actually went through, and that stopped at the Cell Saga. Dude, how? Come on, man. So there is no game on current gen. Burst Limit came out in what, the early 2000s? Like, come on, bruh. Come on.
Same storyline. You play as Goku to fight against the whole series of enemies in Dragon Ball Z. It's the same thing over and over again. I'm pretty sure that's the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again but expecting different results.
Technically, it's not the same thing. If they did the same thing over, they would make like a Budokai 3 and make another Budokai 3 like the HD definition like they did on the Xbox and PS3. But guys, this is not the same old story. Like, yes, it's an anime game. If you make a game based off of events that have already happened, it's going to be the same story, you know. But even with that being said, the game is not the same. Yes, it's the same story, but it's the way that the story is presented. Like, I don't know, man.
Now, the last great, amazing Dragon Ball Z games they had, these are just sales-wise, in my opinion. I don't think they are the greatest ones, the last greatest ones, but this is all that we had. Because this company, apparently the people that's making these games, they have some, like, partnership or something. Like, they're, like, in bed with these people. Like, nope, you can't have nobody else make a Dragon Ball Z game. Like, I would love if they have a chance to give Platinum a chance, Platinum to make Dragon Ball Z game.
Here's the thing that people fail to understand about making games. Bandai doesn't make the games. Bandai is the publisher of the games. The developers are the ones that make the games, and there's various developers making various Dragon Ball games. Dimps is making Xenoverse. Arc Systems made Dragon Ball FighterZ, and CyberConnect 2 made Dragon Ball Z Kakarot.
Those are the people who made Bayonetta. They made a lot of other like action, near automata, a lot of great action games. Can they make a Dragon Ball Z game? Can we have Rocksteady or Insomniac make a Dragon Ball Z game?
First of all, Rocksteady and Insomniac, they don't make anime games, so why would you get a company, a development company that has no experience making these types of games? CyberConnect 2 is a titan in the anime game industry. I wonder, does he even know that they're making this game?
Rocksteady made the famous Batman Arkham games, which those games are amazing. We have Insomniac, which made the latest Spider-Man game. Can somebody else make Dragon Ball Z games? Like, jeez, give these people a rest. Because every Dragon Ball Z game is like Dragon Ball. It's like Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi or Xenoverse or Naruto Storm games. It's that same anime style. You rush at the opponent. Mash one button, attack. You can vanish, teleport, fly in the air. I hate that stuff.
Okay. Bro, so, like, that's how they fight in the anime. Like, what do you mean you want them to... They even do it in Dragon Ball FighterZ. They rush the opponent, they attack the opponent, they vanish, they do super attacks. Like, it's anime. What do you want them to put on gloves and box? Come on, bro.
Style. Can we get somebody else to make Dragon Ball Z games? Like, jeez. But as I was saying earlier, the only ones that made a huge difference, which were loved worldwide, but I didn't really like them that much, were like the Xenoverse games. But at least they did something different. They at least remixed the story mode that we played through in every Dragon Ball Z game, Fight Against Raditz.
Xenoverse is a very interesting thing because here's the thing about Xenoverse. They did the exact same story for Xenoverse 2. In the story mode of Xenoverse 2, you literally play through the story mode of Xenoverse 1 along with the exact same subquest. You talk about doing the same thing, expecting different results. They literally copy and pasted the exact same thing. And that same old story that y'all tend to be tired of, guess what? Without it, Xenoverse doesn't have a story. Like, come on, bro. Like, oh, man.
Fight against Frieza, fight against the Ginyu Force, fight against Frieza, fight against Android, Cell, Majin Buu. It's the same storyline we followed in every Dragon Ball Z game. It's ridiculous. But at least they remixed it in Xenoverse. We fought against had a different plot, different storyline, something with like the time police, something like that. You changed events in
Time Patrol,
Dragon Ball Z history, events. So that was at least different. I give them that. I wasn't a fan because of that same combat mechanic. I hate the Xenoverse Storm, the anime template pretty much for fighting games. I hate those.
See, so first of all, the Naruto Storm combat system is different than Xenoverse's. Xenoverse actually has heavy attacks. The Storm series is similar to this game where you have one button for your melee attacks. Now, in that, you can mix them up. You can use the same face buttons to give different finishers to your combos. Yeah, people didn't know that because people don't pay attention to the videos. But yeah, so whatever.
Games that's in that style. Then you have Dragon Ball FighterZ, which is actually like a 2D platform.
It's not FighterZ Z, it's Dragon Ball FighterZ. The Z is supposed to be, it's a pun on the S with the Z. Like, yeah.
Which is kind of like Marvel / the Arc System Work games with their game templates.
That's who made it, Arc System.
Which I wasn't a huge fan of, but it's a lot better than the Xenoverse, Storm, Naruto Storm series games.
Yeah, I get it.
I'd rather play that than play the Storm and Xenoverse games.
So if he's not a biggest fan of that, my question to him would be, what type of games are you into? Because even in the Arkham Knight games that he talks about, he wants Insomniac and them to make games, and Spider-Man, Is the combat not the same thing? Literally in Spider-Man, the combat is the same as it is in Xenoverse. You have a light melee attack, you have a heavy melee attack, and then you have specials. The combat is the same, and it's the same way in Batman, bro. So what are you looking for as far as combat? Because the people that you want to make the game, in their games, the combat is the same. Melee attack, special attack.
That's for sure. But yeah, cause like, could somebody else make to make another Dragon Ball Z, to make a Dragon Ball Z game? Why is just the same people, that same anime template style of Dragon Ball Z is so annoying? Cause I remember during the PS2 days, you had a game called Naruto Uzumaki Chronicles. Can we at least get a Dragon Ball Z game that's like that? That game was amazing. Then they had a sequel as well, because that game, like, I think that game did really well, so they had a sequel. And that game, I remember having so much fun playing that first one. I never got a chance to play the second one, but the first one was like, wow, that game was fun.
I'm gonna look that up.
There's so many different action game developers. And making an RPG game, you can have nobody else, no other developer. Like, I don't understand, like, why must they hire the same people to do these Dragon Ball Z games?
See, that's the thing right there. CyberConnect 2 is the developer. They've never made a Dragon Ball game. He's confusing, and I think a lot of people are confusing Bandai as being the developer. Bandai is just the publisher. Let's look up Naruto Chronicles. Uzumaki Chronicles 2. Let's see who made that, who developed that game. Bandai was the publisher. Savaya was the developer of that game, but Bandai was the publisher. The same person that's publishing this game that you think is the developer, but it's actually the publisher.
It's getting old and tiring, and this new one looks the same as the rest of them.
This doesn't look like any of them.
But you get to do missions.
It doesn't even look like Xenoverse.
Open the world. Like the last Dragon Ball Z game I truly loved was like the Budokai series on the PS2.
Okay, you love Budokai, but you don't like this game. And I imagine Budokai, probably you're gonna say Budokai 3, which you got to fly around the map and do pretty much the same stuff in here, only it's a lot more detailed and defined in this game. So what's really your issue with the game? That's what I don't get. How can you be a fan of the Budokai games, but you don't like this? Because even in Budokai's combat, it's just like Xenoverse. You got your heavy, you got your light, you got your vanish. Like, I don't get it. What's dude's real problem with the game?
Those games were amazing. Those games were perfect in my opinion. I remember when I first got Budokai 1, the first Budokai game on PS2. I remember picking it up at a Best Buy. And I beat that game in the same day I bought it. And I played that game repeatedly. I played the story mode repeatedly.
Do you hear this dude, like, contradicting himself? You complaining about the same old story, yet you played Budokai 1, beat it in one day, mind you. Guess what, guys? You are not beating this game in one day. Unless you got amazing stick skills, you ain't beating it in one day. Well, I ain't gonna say that. Somebody gonna try to. Somebody probably gonna succeed. I don't know. I just don't feel like you will because of the level disparity. You're gonna get one-shotted. It's gonna be very frustrating trying to play a level 50-something boss when you just level 10, dude. Anyway, you've played Budokai 1 over and over and over, which means you played the same story over and over and over. And you had more fun with Budokai 1 than you think you'll have in Dragon Ball Kakarot. Come on, man.
That game is short. That game can be beat in like a few hours, but I love that game so much. That's one of my favorites. I still remember that game. And the graphics back then were amazing. They didn't just continue with Budokai 2. It was like a board game type of. It was like he pretty much changed the layout to like a board game. I think he played through like all the villains, like Majin Buu.
The same story, mind you.
Then the third one, they pretty much just improved it. It just each Budokai game, they just kept improving it. New mechanics, new features.
Same story.
And that third one was perfection.
That's what I wanted to hear. I knew he was going to say it. Budokai 3 was perfection. Guys, what was beautiful about Budokai 3 is you got to fly around the map. And I bet you he say that. Mind you, that's in this game as well. But it's the same story as Budokai 2, Budokai 1, burst limit, Ultimate Tenkaichi, like, what is your real argument, bruh?
It was like Dragon Ball Z Perfection. Then after that, they just went like and just as soon as they made Budokai Tenkaichi, it was like they just made that whole just fighting format. That was like the anime template, and that just ruined it all.
It was the same template, but guys, you have to realize this. It was two different companies making those games. Atari was making one, and Bandai was making another, and there was different developers on board. So,
I just went to hell at that point. It was only great if you loved that. If you loved that fighting style, if you didn't love that fighting style, it was just garbage.
Mind you, it's the same fighting style that's been in every Dragon Ball game aside from Fighters. That's because it's a true fighting game, so the mechanics change. Other than that, it's just like any other game, including Batman, including Spider-Man, where the fighting mechanics are pretty much simplistic.
I hated that fighting style. I could never get into those games. I could never really. That fighting style was just so like oil and water to me. Just understand how to play those games. Like you can't mix oil and water. Me trying to learn those fighting game mechanics at that point, I just couldn't stand them at all.
So you complaining about learning the fighting mechanics when the fighting mechanics in Dragon Ball Fighters is very complex. I mean, they have a simplicity to them for beginners, but they can get very complex. I'm interested to know what fighting games that he likes, because the fighting mechanics in those games aren't difficult to learn.
But it's like, and they got this new game. It's like it looks the same as every other one. Like
it doesn't look even almost the same.
Like, I know I keep repeating myself, but it's like, why can nobody else work on this legendary IP known as Dragon Ball, most famous anime throughout the entire world, through all countries? Everybody knows what Dragon Ball Z is.
I'm not gonna listen to any more of that. Like, dude, this is out of control. Dude is, I mean, his arguments aren't legit. It just sounds like somebody who saw something on surface and just saying, like, I don't like it. I'm interested to see what the comments say. Honestly, I agree with you. I'm really underwhelmed with this game and its premise. I really wish the game would have been about you playing as different versions of Goku trying to save the world. What do you mean different versions of Goku? Kind of like Into the Spider-Verse, but with Goku. Okay, hey, that would have been dope. That's actually not a bad idea. Like, I actually like that. That would be really cool. And the gameplay would be similar to Breath of the Wild. The gameplay in this is similar to Breath of the Wild. He really compared Dragon Ball Z Kakarot to Naruto Chronicles. Yeah, he did do that. That was 8 hours ago, mind you. Dragon Ball Fighters is one of the best fighting games I ever played, and it's going to be the last Dragon Ball game. This is the key word for that. Fighting game. See, people misunderstand. It's like people don't pay attention to the genres of games. Yes, you have many different Dragon Ball games, but they're starting to fill up different genres of games. And the issue comes when people try to compare Dragon Ball Kakarot to Dragon Ball Fighters. They're two different styles of games. One is an RPG, one is a fighter. So you're not going to have the same elements. They should add Dragon Ball story mode after you're done with the Z. They should have added it at the beginning, in my opinion. They should just scrap the story in DBZ games and focus on fighting mechanics. Bro, play Dragon Ball Fighters. Like, that's what it's there for. Only then I think it would be perfection. People play Dragon Ball Z games to fight their friends in reality anyway, not really for the story. That's not true. People play it. I play it for the story. I love the story. I love being immersed in the story. That's just what that person likes. Bandai Namco has an exclusive game right as long as they produce a Dragon Ball game once a year. So in theory, Bandai Namco will have the Dragon Ball franchise indefinitely. Or until the contract is up and they decide to go elsewhere. With what they have with Kakarot, bruh. And I mean, Xenoverse even sold 10 million copies. Fighters is selling off the charts. So why would they not have the license? Like, they should make an open world Dragon Ball game that covers all the sagas, and whenever you get into a battle, it goes into like a 2D Mortal Kombat fighting style. Some of the sagas, like Pilaf 1, won't really have any fights, but the parts without fights can be adventures and fun. Bro, you literally describing Kakarot. What did he say to that? I'm dead, bro. Are you serious? Man, listen to what he said. They should make an open world Dragon Ball game the game is semi-open world for the most part. All the sagas are in this game. And whenever you get into a battle, it goes into like a 2D Mortal Kombat. When you get into a battle, it doesn't go into a 2D Mortal Kombat style, but it does go into a battle scene, which I even talked about that when it was still Project Z. Some of the sagas like Pilaf one won't have really any fights, which is true because Pilaf I don't even think he's in the game. But the parts without fights can be adventurous and fun, which, when you don't have a fight, you get to explore the world and train and stuff. While the later parts in the game are fighting. Bro, that you just described the game. It was even worse. This dude literally said, that would be amazing. I'm finna reply to that. I'm interested. What do you think about the game? Like, dude... What? I'm done, man. Yeah, guys, that's it, man. That's it.